Hi everyone. Just wanted to set the parameters for our next topic, which is dealing with critical historical thinking. It seems appropriate to be looking at that right now because if you review the expectations that you did in your last assignment, many of you focused on the need for students to develop critical historical thinking skills. So I guess obviously one of the big questions is, what are they? And I always like to say that they are skills that students need that is going to allow them to, instead of having history done to them, they're going to be able to do history. They'll be able to take a look at sources, come up with some analysis, come up with conclusions, uh, and just to see what is involved in deciding what events from the past should be worth studying. The past is everything, and they can't study everything, so they have to determine what should be historically important or significant that they could look at. So I thought I'd take significance as an example of what I'm getting at as an introduction to this topic. What criteria do people use to determine what should be historically significant? As you're trying to answer this, let me try this with you. What I have here that I want you to see is I have a series of stones and rocks. Nothing very extraordinary about them. They're smooth rocks and they're different colors and so on. And I'd just like you to pause for a minute and think, how significant might these be? Now that you've thought about that for a second, I wonder if your interpretation or decision as to the significance of these rocks would change if I told you that they came from the beach in Dieppe. I was able to visit the beach a few summers ago, and standing on that beach, feeling these smooth rocks under my feet, and looking at the cliffs on both sides of the town, it just brought home how hopeless the situation was for our troops when they landed on that beach, trying to crawl up that line of rocks that led up gradually up to the town. They were sitting ducks to the German snipers on both sides, and it really brought home how bad it really was. So has your definition of the significance towards these rocks changed now that you know where they came from? That's the kind of thing I think students need to do, that they have to take a look at facts and then dig behind them to see if they are significant or not. So we'll be working on that. You're going to be looking at a couple of resources dealing with critical thinking, but also historical thinking, that I believe are going to form the foundation pieces for the revised curriculum, which is coming out in the fall. And then you're going to have an opportunity to share your ideas, and then later on next week, you're going to be developing a lesson dealing with one of the concepts of historical thinking. So this should be an interesting discussion, and I think a very fruitful one, and one that's definitely appropriate with our revised curriculum. So let's take a look at what you're supposed to do.